Today I want to show some footage of Freedmen Black Americans wondering why the Hispanic community are not asking the Asian and other non-Black communities to help protest against the ICE raids happening around the country. Also, discussions on history of how the Freedmen Black American community has always helped immigrant communities over the decades and the power of Black community continuing to stay unified.
How can you lack so much compassion? What if your mom, your dad, was immediately just taken from you?
I seen someone ask this question and it got me to thinking, you're right. Why haven't the Latin community called on the Asians that's in California to go out and march and help? Why is the call of action only to Black people? I just really want to know. Because they call themselves the model minority. So they supposed to be smarter, more educated. This is all per them. Why haven't y'all called on the Asians? Why do they get to sit back and chill? We already know they out to pew us. Let me know. Get down in the comments because I want to know. That's an interesting question.
Just last week, y'all had Black fatigue. Just last week, every other demographic who wasn't Black, y'all had Black fatigue. Now y'all are demanding Black bodies to be put on the front line. There's other ways to protest, there's other ways to help. But I find it kind of insane that all of you had Black fatigue. But now y'all need Black people help. Why is the majority not asking the Asian community for help? Why is the majority not asking the Pacific Islander community for help? Why does everything always have to fall on Black people? Especially when y'all have so much fatigue, right? Our existence bothered y'all so much just last week. Y'all had all this Black fatigue because we told y'all stop saying the N-word in rap songs. You know what I'm saying? Stop wearing our women's box braids. Stop trying to wear fake dreadlocks. You ain't Black. You ain't. Y'all had Black fatigue, bro. I ain't forget that. Y'all had Black fatigue. But you know how Black people do. We sympathetic. You know eventually we gonna help. We always give in, man. Every single time we always give in. We always give in. But just know, most of us ain't forget. Just last week, y'all all had Black fatigue, bro. Y'all all had Black fatigue. Y'all all had Black fatigue.
We asked y'all for a simple vote. We asked you to go into those voting booths and vote for humanity, vote for unity, vote for change, vote for freedoms, vote for equality. And you went into those booths and you voted proximity. You voted machismo. You let white people trick you out of your votes. You let them trick you into voting against your own people. Not even us. Nobody else. You let them trick you into voting against your own people. And now you're demanding that Black people get out there and fight with you. We asked you to push a button, fill in a circle, and you're demanding now that we put our lives on the line, that we put our freedoms on the line? Why are you not demanding this of white people, of Asians, Palestinians, Native Americans, Arabs? Why are you not demanding this of anybody else? I'm not anti-Latino. I'm not anti-Hispanic. I'm not anti-anything. I am very much pro-Black, though. There was a choice to be made, and you made it, and you stood tall on it with your anti-Blackness. And now we're the problem because we've said enough.
Now that everything that I said was going to happen when Trump get elected is happening, now all of these Hispanic people saying, I want Black people to step up and be on the front lines with us. I'm not going on no front lines with none of y'all. I will stand with you in solidarity from right here in my car on this goddamn phone because I told y'all what was going to happen and y'all still voted against y'all own rights. Now, since y'all want to keep on talking about people of color, POC, and everybody is the same, right? We all minorities, right? Y'all better call on them yellow folks. Y'all better call on them Asians. Y'all better call on them other immigrants and all of these other people that's supposed to be stepping up for you since we all POC. You know what I'm saying? Where the Chinese, where the Japanese, where the Indians at? Ain't nobody want to step up with you? Now everybody want to call black people to step up. I'm not going to no front lines with nobody. Don't ask me to go to no goddamn protest. I ain't going to no goddamn protest. I'm not going on the front lines, and I'm not getting maced. I'm not getting pepper sprayed for none of y'all. Matter of fact, call them Irish people. Then y'all say black people. Then y'all say Irish people was black. Then y'all say all gingers are black, not just black gingers. Y'all said Irish people was black just because they had some type of oppression in their history. That had nothing to do with 400 years of slavery, but for some reason, Irish people are black now. Call them.
I saw somebody talk about solidarity between minorities and how we need to stick together and put in the work together. If y'all don't stop trying to gaslight black people, as predominantly black women, into doing work that they've been doing, that's for y'all. Here's a message. How about y'all stop being racist? Y'all trying to act like y'all haven't been racist in the past, and now it matters that we come together. Yes, we should come together and all that bullshit. But y'all not about to act like y'all wasn't acting like them other people for years. Get the fuck on. And the other reason I don't like this conversation is because it was trying to make it sound like black people were trying to be in solidarity with other minorities. Like it was an equal thing that everybody was doing. Please, we've been on that type of time. It's just other people haven't been on that type of time.
So there's a video going around right now on Twitter and Instagram. I can't show it on my page because I'll get violated real quick. But in that video, you have not one, but two Mexicans calling a black cop the N-word. Nobody around them tried to stop it. Nobody around them tried to check that shit. And that's the problem. Y'all think y'all have the right to say that word, but in the very next breath, have the audacity to ask black people to come and stand with you. The audacity to ask us to put our fucking lives on the line for you, to risk going to jail for you. Motherfuckers treat Afro-Latinos like shit, like they don't exist. What the fuck on God Green's earth would make us think that you give a fuck about us, about our safety? Even in the midst of them snatching you the fuck up, you still can't curb your fucking racism, your anti-blackness. Then you want to make social media posts weaponizing Tupac. You give a fuck what Tupac said. Bitch, y'all on y'all own.
So respectfully for the black community, I have a question. So if Trump is trying to defund federal...
You know, I was trying to figure out what were you thinking when you made this video? And I think you were I watched the whole thing and you were basically saying like, you want black and brown people to come together to fight Trump. And that's what it sounds like you're saying. And you were trying to utilize whatever Trump is saying, You guys are jumping too far. Black people cannot help you defeat Trump or whatever y'all think when y'all have not reconciled what y'all have done to us. Y'all have not reconciled that. Y'all have not sat down and really deconstructed your anti-blackness. You have not done that. So you guys trying to get us to help y'all do anything is not okay. Y'all haven't even reconciled the first thing. And that's the problem. That's why we're not gonna help y'all. Period. Because y'all can't even understand that thing.
So y'all want black folks to come and fight with y'all, come stand on the front line like we always have. But ain't this the same group that refuses to stop saying the N-word? This ain't the same group that was being racist in Zoe Spencer comments when she was going back and forth with that Hispanic creditor. But now y'all want our help. Okay, interesting.
So today on here, I saw something that really bothered me. A Latina woman basically was asking why the black community isn't there for the Latino community like they were there for us during BLM. Oh boy, y'all might want to buckle up for this one because this is about to be a CM Punk type rant. And in the theme of this Phil Brooks type rant, let me go and say the words that he once said to the universe. Do we have everybody's attention now? Now then, I say that because I find it funny that it takes us stepping back as a community entirely for people to recognize what's going on. Now, notice I said it was funny. I did not say I was shocked. Because this is what always happens. You see, somehow we are always blamed for things, despite the fact that a lot of times it's not our fault. And this one definitely is not our fault. Did you see those voting numbers? We didn't put that piece of shit in office. You did it. But you say you helped us during BLM and that's why we should help you? I don't remember that. Because you see, what I remember is that it took a black man losing his life at a point where the world had no choice but to watch for you to recognize that we go through shit. But you have the gall to sit there and blame us when the only thing that we did was try to prevent this from happening. Hey, I actually have a crazy idea. How about instead of blaming my community, you do what everybody tells us to do and check your own? Because they were the ones with the superiority complexes that made them think that they were better than people that look just like them. And excuse me, but why do we always have to be the ones that have grace for people? Because from where I'm sitting, a lot of people don't show us that same grace when things happen with us. Because the thing is, we read the 900-page document. We researched. We looked into things. I'm not sure we could say the same about you. Now then, I know it's not everybody. So right now, we need as much solidarity as possible, period. Now then, if you want to sit there and point fingers, cool, whatever. But us, we got a world to save. So what you do from this point is up to you.
I will not be participating in any protests, especially here in South Florida, okay? Because the people in South Florida got exactly what they asked for. All these Cubans for Trump, Venezuelans for Trump, Latinos for Trump. He won down here. Y'all got exactly what y'all voted for. So I don't care about where are black people? Where are black people? What about Black Lives Matter? No, I actually don't care. I am not about to get tear gassed and, shot with rubber bullets for some people who thought that their skin was light enough to be exempt. I'm sorry, these people here in South Florida, these Hispanics, so racist. I've experienced racism from them, but they have a crabs in a bucket mentality. They think, well, they should just do it the right way. I'm doing it the right way. There's a lot of people doing it the right way. And they're sitting in ICE detention centers, just like you're gonna be. You voted against your own interest because you didn't want Black immigrants, Haitians, Jamaicans, Africans to have the same liberties as you. And I know people are gonna say, well, what about those, Black immigrants who are now facing deportation? I know some, personally, and they ain't asked me to protest. Until they do, sure, I will. But they're not, I don't know no Haitian or Jamaican or, Trini, any Black Caribbean that's going out to protest, personally. I don't know any in South Florida who's doing that. I know California has a completely different culture than South Florida, so I don't know if they experience what Black people experience here from Hispanics. So I'm not referring to them and, the situation going on there. But as for me, living in Miami, no.
From the moment slavery was abolished, Freedmen Black Americans, descendants of enslaved Black people in the United States, have stood on the front lines in the fight against white supremacy. Despite being marginalized, terrorized, and systematically excluded from full citizenship, freedmen have continually resisted oppression while showing solidarity with other marginalized groups, including many immigrant communities. Yet time and again, these same communities have turned their backs on Black Americans, co-opting civil rights gains, aligning with white power structures, or outright sabotaging Black progress. After emancipation, Black Americans built independent institutions, churches, schools, businesses, and mutual aid societies as a form of resistance. From Reconstruction, 1865 to 1877, to the Civil Rights Movement, they organized voter registration drives, founded newspapers, formed armed self-defense units like the Deacons for Defense, and filed countless lawsuits challenging segregation and discrimination. Despite being the most targeted group under white supremacy, Black Americans became the moral backbone of American democracy. Figures like Ida B. Wells, Frederick Douglass, W.E.B. Du Bois, and later Malcolm X and Dr. King led global conversations on human rights. Black Americans have historically supported other marginalized and immigrant groups, often seeing their struggles as linked. In the early 20th century, Black labor organizers welcomed poor European immigrants into union struggles against exploitative factory owners, even when those immigrants held racist views. During World War II, While Japanese Americans were placed in internment camps, the NAACP opposed their incarceration, advocating for their civil liberties. In the 1960s, the Chicano movement, Native American rights campaigns, and the Asian American movement all drew from the strategies and moral authority of the Black civil rights movement. Black leaders marched with and advised organizers from these communities. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. openly supported Mexican farm workers in California, led by Cesar Chavez and Dolores Huerta, saying their fight for dignity was part of a larger struggle against economic injustice. Despite this solidarity, many immigrant communities have turned their backs on Black Americans once they gained access to resources, whiteness, or social mobility. After the 1959 Cuban Revolution, many Cubans were granted special immigration privileges and categorized as political refugees. With U.S. government help, they quickly gained access to housing loans, small business grants, and political clout. As they grew in power, many Cuban Americans in Miami aligned themselves with conservative politics, even supporting anti-Black policies. By the 1980s and 1990s, Black residents in Miami were openly complaining that Cuban officials and business owners excluded them from opportunities. In fact, during the 1980 Liberty City riots, many Black Miamians expressed frustration over job discrimination and political exclusion by Cuban immigrants. Mexican Americans in California, like some Chicano activists aligned with Black causes in the 1960s and 70s, the broader Mexican American population has increasingly distanced itself. In Los Angeles, from the 1980s to early 2000s, Black communities in Compton, Watts, and South Central were terrorized by Mexican gangs, who carried out racist attacks to forcibly push Black residents out of neighborhoods. Groups like Florencia 13, the Mexican Mafia, La M, and others targeted Black residents, not for gang conflict, but purely on racial grounds. These acts were often ignored or downplayed by city officials who feared backlash from the growing Latinx voting bloc. At the institutional level, many Latino politicians and organizations have historically refused to partner with Black Americans in coalition work. League of United Latin American Citizens, for example, often focused on the advancement of lighter-skinned or white-presenting Latinos, and in the past, excluded Black Latinos and openly rejected alliances with Black civil rights organizations. As new waves of immigrants came to the U.S., Black Americans again extended support, calling for fair immigration policies and humane treatment at the border. Yet, many immigrants, once settled, adopted the racial caste logic of whiteness, embracing anti-Black stereotypes, supporting gentrification that displaces Black communities, and competing for affirmative action benefits that Black people died for. Immigrant groups, some just arriving in the last few decades, have overtaken Black Americans in home ownership, small business loans, and government contracts, often by exploiting the legacy of Black struggles without investing in Black communities. Tell me what you think about this topic. Hope you find the information in this video informative. Feel free to like, subscribe, share, comment. Thanks for watching.